I'm led to believe it was Einstein who said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. We definitely know about that here at the Brain Tumour Charity. Brain tumours are actually the biggest cancer killer of people under 40. They're the biggest cancer killer of our children. Of those people with brain cancer who are diagnosed today, less than half will be alive this time next year. And of the hundreds of millions of pounds that are invested in cancer research, less than 3% will go into brain tumours. And at the Brain Tumour Charity, we know that that's not okay. We have two very ambitious goals as a charity. We are seeking to double that survival and to halve the harm that brain tumours have on quality of life. We're not naive. We know how ambitious those goals are. We know the complexity of the world-class research that we fund. We know how challenging it is to campaign for better services. And we know how hard it is to support people living and dying with this disease every single moment of every single day. We also know that the biggest challenge is data. The biggest challenge to researchers, to clinicians, and to people living with this disease is about information. And that's where Brian comes from. And yes, we've gone low tech tonight, because you have the expertise for high tech. Brian is unique. It's an online platform accessed by researchers, clinicians, patients, carers, safe, secure, and we've done an awful lot of background work to Brian. In fact, we've done the prototype. We could have shown it to you on your iPhone. We've done the logic model behind it. We've done the strategy. We have lobbied hard for the data from the NHS. And as of Friday, I'm delighted to tell you that we now do have access to data. But actually now we're ready to build Brian because data is critical. But actually, we talk a lot about data when we talk about Brian, but it's actually the people behind that data that really matter. Deborah.
So my daughter Ella was diagnosed with a high-grade medulloblastoma shortly after her 3rd birthday. Nothing could prepare us for that devastating news. We were thrown in at the deep end by immediate surgery, followed by the devastating news that her cancer had spread. We were told she had a real fight on her hands. The treatment was grueling and harsh, and we watched our little girl disappear before our very eyes. Her path to treatment was a preset protocol with ongoing treatment determined by how her initial treatment had gone. We felt alone and very frightened. All I knew was that I didn't want my little girl to die. Side effects are thrown at you like supermarket sweep, and they begin to fall on deaf ears, and we thought surely they won't all happen to her. Little did we know how harsh the treatment was and the devastating effects it would have on her little body. Cancer and treatment became a routine part of our everyday life, and her yearly treatment continued until a routine scan delivered yet another devastating blow that her cancer had returned. Back around that wheel we went, with more brutal treatment in the form of radiosurgery and of grueling chemo. I am really thankful for the fact that the treatment has extended her life. However, it has come at a huge cost to her and to us as a family. Every part of her little body has been affected, and the effects continue to emerge. We don't know how long she's going to live for, but every day that she does, she has to live and manage with those consequences. Brian could change this and support people like us going through treatment. To have information at our fingertips would be amazing, and to feel part of a process that would help prepare us for that. Ella has experienced many life-changing effects. As a result of her treatment, she's now deaf, she has no hair, her hormones have been affected, so she's not growing properly. She's cognitively delayed and struggles in school to read and to write. Physically, she can't run and she can't ride a bike. The list continues. It grows on a yearly basis. By sharing Ella's medical data, the treatments she's tried and her experiences at a young age can help make a positive difference to others. And in return, by sharing their information, they can make a positive difference to us. Brian can help patients like Ella, mums like me, and carers to feel more informed and to make better decisions that balance the potential risk, the quality of life, and the outcomes. We can find out about clinical trials and feel empowered to ask the right questions to our clinician, find out about the best treatment options and alternative therapies, and feel part of a collaborative process, taking control of our health. By making global connections and sharing our data, we can share in a hope. We can explore treatment options from around the globe and play a key role in helping accelerate better treatments and improved quality of life and ultimately a cure. And we can play our part in helping everybody get better treatments and better outcomes. And I hope that we can save lives.
So there's no doubt that Brian will help families like Deborah. But actually what also really matters is, will it make a difference to our researchers and our clinicians? Darren is a paediatric neuro-oncologist from Great Ormond Street, and he has literally dashed over from clinic to join us this evening because he knows that Brian is a game changer.
So I know the desperate need that children and families have. I look after children with brain tumours every day. Unfortunately, I've seen far too many children lose their lives or families disrupted in the way that Deborah's spoken. We really need to innovate, and we need to accelerate our clinical trials and the information being empowered by data. I know as a researcher the power that data can actually have in terms of collaboration, sharing data, whether it's clinical, whether it's actually arising from research, or whether, very importantly, it's the quality of life of the survivors as they go through. And this is something that's absolutely vital to a researcher, to have that data easy to hand. And that's something where Brian is able to actually make a real difference. But what's absolutely vital is that Brian is also coming along with the community for our patients and also for their families in terms of them being part of the project that is Brian.
So what we hear from Darren is that Brian will accelerate. Brian will innovate. And whilst he would never let me say it, I think what I heard Darren say is if we give him the data, he will find a cure. And we're at the stage now where we've built this part of Brian. The inside's not so good currently, and that's where you come in. What better partnering organisation at this stage in our development? Friday we found out we had the data, and today we're here. This is the partnership that we need. The skills, the expertise, the funds, the advice, the wealth in this room of knowledge could enable us to save lives and make a game changer for everybody living with a brain tumour in the UK. And not just the UK. This would also be a game changer globally. And if that isn't enough, because we are somewhat greedy, actually this could be white labelled for other neglected and rarer diseases. So not only will you help us save lives from today, but for others too, other disease areas. A cure really can't wait. Please support us. On your way out, you'll get a little tub of Smarties, Ella's favourite sweet. And there's just one message on there from her that says, please help us. So visit our website, pledge your support, do what you can, share with us your expertise, your knowledge, because together we can find that cure and better treatments. Thank you very much.